Chicago's North Shore is one of the coolest places to live in the country. Hi, I'm Evan Fitzgerald alongside Vittoria Logli, and we are going to go over the top 5 pros and cons to living here on Chicago's North Shore. And let me tell you something, this is going to be a really good list if you're either thinking about moving here or if you've been here for a long time and you just want to know really what we think are the best and worst things about living here. Vittoria, let's start with the first one, and I think it's pretty obvious. Location, location, location. It is just an amazing place to live for various reasons, if you want to get us started here.
Yes, absolutely. So we've got Lake Michigan. So, super close. The city of Chicago, the Metro train station. We've got Ravinia, the schools, just everything is so amazing. You can go to dinner at any one of our amazing North Shore town centers. Everything's super close and compact and just wonderful amenities in the area. And honestly, this is like the best place to live, I want to say, besides the city of Chicago, like anywhere in the middle of the country, for sure.
Yeah, and there are so many things I think that, when you're thinking about, where you want to be and why, there are things that really draw people to this area. I think the park districts are one of the things that really are offer so much that you don't necessarily think about, whether it's golf or activities or places to work out. Like there's just so many things available.
Indoor tracks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
There's so many things that are available to you just by the fact that you live here.
Many are free. Also, I'd like to say, and many are free. And then otherwise, to join the park district is, nominal fees. And also, if you live in one suburb, say you live in Glenview, and I know your daughter takes skating lessons in Wilmette Park District. So they do allow that as well. So yeah, the location and the park districts is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So obviously, though, when it comes to something like the location, there's also a con that comes with that. And that is, when you're talking about living on the North Shore, the location, as you get towards the lake, those dollar signs, I just put them on the screen, it gets more and more expensive as you move closer and closer to Lake Michigan.
Exactly. I always tell people that are moving here from various parts of the country that exactly like you said, as you get closer to the lake in those suburbs, the homes, the streets, anything that's closer to the lake, the land is more valuable. They're not making any more land, right, shore or near the shore. So homes will be more expensive the closer you are to the lake. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, I think as you're thinking about where you want to be, that does offer some opportunities for people because there are some, I wouldn't necessarily, I don't know that you can call anything a steal on the North Shore necessarily, but there are places that you can look where you can find good value because it might be a little bit further away from the lake. And so that's something that, we can help people with and do help people with when they work with us, when we're working with our clients
100%.
and they're looking for properties.
And every town is a little bit different, every village, right? Wilmette's a little bit different as to where those steals or where those bargains would be. Same with Winnetka and Kenilworth. And, just to sort of quantify too, we're talking about the North Shore in Cook County. So not Lake County, so south of Lake Cook Road and in suburbs, I'm just going to name them: Glenview, Northfield, Northbrook, Glencoe, Winnetka, Wilmette, Kenilworth, and Northfield. So those are the North Shore, because there's more than that in Lake County, but those are the ones we're really specifically talking about in this video.
And so our next our next pro, the schools here, super highly rated. And I think, let me preface this, Victoria, before we kind of get into the specifics of it, and I'll bring up the article that we found that we wanted to show people. But you really can't go wrong in this area because anywhere you look, we've worked with people that have been in districts all over the area, and they really have been happy with it. So, that's the best news, is that you can't go wrong. And I'm going to bring this up right here and you can kind of talk about it. But the rankings,
News and World Report, for sure. The, top 3 high schools around here, Glenbrook North, Glenbrook South, and New Trier, just ranked in the top, what is it, Evan?
All in the top 20.
Top 20 in the country.
Illinois.
And
in the state of Illinois.
Sorry,
so,
state of Illinois. Okay, my bad.
But I'm glad that you mentioned that, because they're all, if you look here, New Trier is 285 in the country. So, when you do the math and you think about that, 50 states, all the schools within 50 states, Trier is in the top 300 in the entire country, which is amazing. Glenbrook South, number 430. Glenbrook North, 469, all in the top 500 in the country. So, I'm going to extrapolate that. So even if you assumed that, you spread all of the top schools evenly across the country, which we know isn't necessarily the case, these would all be top 10 schools
100%.
across the nation,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
really, really amazing.
Phenomenal. No extra cost. Your tax dollars are actually going to work for you. The other thing is, there's a smaller classroom size, and many of these teachers are so incredibly educated. Like my daughter literally had a second grade teacher with a PhD. So it's just unbelievable the amount of education that these teachers have, and what your kids are learning at such a young age.
And so what this gives people an opportunity to do is make judgments based on what's important to them, and knowing that they can feel good about the fact that wherever they end up here in the North Shore, there's a very high likelihood that they're going to be pretty happy with the education that they're getting, which is just a really nice
without
thing
a doubt.
to be
And
able
again,
to
at no
think
extra
back on.
cost, right? Your tax dollars are working for you.
Right. Okay, so we're going to go to we're going to go to our next con, which, look, we know what's happened in the pandemic. Yeah, we know what's happened in the pandemic, and since 2020, when the pandemic started, and I think people who live in the area have a sense of this, but people have really decided to make that move out here to the North Shore at a high rate. And so the pandemic fueled migration has really sort of changed things about, how easy it is to find something out here because there's so many people looking.
Right. There's more competition for sure. And there has been, because a majority of people that are looking to make that migration, there's more than there ever were before. And people are looking for room, elbow room, right, in their homes, in their neighborhoods. Just they want, more activities to do outside. And so there is sort of that great migration now coming from the city of Chicago into the suburbs, which is, just depleted our housing inventory.
Yeah. And I mean, I will say this, and I'm curious if you agree with me on this. These things tend to be cyclical, right? And I know that the work environment is different now because there is so much more work from home, and that's going to change things in the long term. There's no doubt about it. But the likelihood is that these things come back around, and there will come a point where people will be heading back to the city, more frequently. And that obviously should ease things up just a little bit. So I would expect over time, this to kind of come back around a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. But as people were looking for more space for 2 offices, right, for a home gym, for anything that you could do for basements, for yards, it was really driving, all of the purchases in the North Shore.
No question. All right. So we always end on a positive note. And this is our last pro. The proximity of Chicago, and I think it gives you in many ways the best of both worlds, because you're so close, everything's at your fingertips, but you're not necessarily dealing with the traffic and those sorts of things that come with being in the city, and you have more space. So you kind of get the benefits without some of the things that people maybe have been trying to escape from during the pandemic.
Right. So depending on which suburb you're talking about, we're like 17 to 20 miles from the city of Chicago, and that's from the center, from the loop, right? So, and then we have 2 metro rail lines that go to the city, and you can be in the city on an express in 30 minutes. We have 2 highways that sort of flank these North Shore suburbs. So if you wanted to drive, you could be downtown in 30, 40, an hour, maybe, right? And then you also have the incredible amenities that the city has to afford at your fingertips, the museums, the sporting events, the concerts, right? I mean, it's just, the city of Chicago is such an incredible place, and it's all right within your fingertips, like, within a 30 to 45 minute commute.
And we say that, but it really is true, because if there's, a Friday night where, for me, if the grandparents have the kids and we want to go downtown to dinner, that doesn't feel like a burden. It doesn't feel difficult to do for us because of that proximity, which really is, it sort of makes you feel like you have the whole world at your fingertips in many ways, because it is so close. And that also, by the way, that also includes things like the airport. O'Hare is,
oh God, yes.
Maybe
we're 12 miles. Yeah, we're 12
miles.
Miles. Right. We're 12 miles from O'Hare. So if you're traveling or picking up, dropping off, I mean, unless it's Friday at 5 o'clock, you literally can be at O'Hare within 20, 30 minutes and it's just an easy commute. Whereas if you're in, well, sometimes if you're in the city trying to get to O'Hare, it can take like an hour. But the suburbs to O'Hare, super easy to get to. So the
All right,
proximity to
so
Chicago is phenomenal from here.
and I think, you know, when you're looking at the pros and cons for many people, that's one of those pros that might outweigh some of the cons that we put on our list. And I listen, we always want to
Sure.
look at the good and the bad. And we want to be honest with
Right.
people, but I will be honest, I don't know that the cons are all that bad.
No, of course they're not that bad. I would absolutely agree with you. And listen, the city of Chicago is incredible, right? There's so much it has to offer. When we moved from the city to the suburbs, I cried and then I never looked back. And it was such a wonderful move. And it's such an easy, wonderful place. And it's incredible to, you know, raise a family and just live here. It is the quality of life here is truly outstanding.
All right. So
So,
obviously, if you have more questions, please
yes.
reach out to us. Vittoria, you have anything you want to end on?
No, I mean, let us know what you guys think. Like, you know, were we on point? Did we miss something? Was there a pro or a con we should be, you know, discussing in our next video? We'd love to hear your comments.
All right. I'm Evan
All right.
Fitzgerald. That's Vittoria Logli. Thanks a lot
Victoria
for
Logli.
watching.
Thank you.